It's springtime. That means we're shedding our winter layers, getting new vegetables and fruits that are finally in season. So today I'm giving you 5 dishes that utilize these springtime vegetables and fruits that will make it so you can not only cook in season, but eat really, really well after this long, cold winter we have had. Starting with a dish from Estonia.
Hi everyone, my name is Sven-Joonatan and I'm from Estonia and live in a city named Rakvere, and I'm proud to be the first Estonian on this channel. The dish I want to talk about today is Karulaugupesto or Ramson pasta. Ramson pasta is made with Ramson pesto, which is quite similar to the famous Genovese pesto. Ramson usually starts growing before anything else in the forest. So during the season, whole forest floor is just so green and lush.
So here in New York City, unlike in Estonia, how Sven-Joonatan said that you can get these in the forest and kind of everybody eats them, ramps are so expensive. People in New York City go feral when they come out. Each bunch of ramps cost $6 and the season is literally like 2 weeks long here. So this episode is perfect timing for me to make these. And I've never really had ramps because they're so expensive. They don't really smell very oniony. They just smell really fresh. So I'm excited to try this, especially because it's a take on pesto, which I do know and love. Ooh, cheese mountain. Oh, it's so soft. It feels like a pillow.
I think that Ramson is part of the spring experience here in Estonia. It tastes very strong and garlicky, but it's also in a way very fresh and full of vitamins, and that's why sometimes it's also called green gold. And different variants of pesto is made, but it's also eaten just as a seasoning on a dish or on an open sandwich. I think this dish represents Estonian culture quite well in a way. We don't have so much our own food culture in Estonia, and pasta is definitely not an Estonian food.
Oh my God, the color is amazing. I'm just gonna taste this for salt and the seasoning of it. Whoa, that is so different. Okay, that is not like other, okay, cool, very cool.
But in a way it represents Estonian culture because we are also called the forest people. More than half of Estonia is covered with forest, and we tend to go to forest quite often and feel very connected with nature in general. I enjoy this experience every year. You just breathe in the spring air, and you usually don't have to go too far because forest is always near. Ramson really is the main ingredient.
This smells so good. I am in heaven. I am in heaven. It smells so much better than typical pesto.
And by frying and cooking the pesto, the taste becomes a little bit more mild, which I enjoy. And I also think the different tastes come forth during this process. I recommend this dish just to have the taste of spring, and it's really the green gold, so you can feel the vitamins and health kick in. I hope you enjoy it.
I think this might be one of the most expensive dishes I've ever made on my channel. Leigh and I were saying that in a restaurant, we think this would definitely cost over $30. So worth it to make it home. That's extraordinary. Sometimes you think all pestos might be the same. There is a pepperiness and a bit of a spiciness to this. The flavor is just really different. There's definitely that springtime freshness. I've definitely never seen them growing in a forest, even near my parents' house, but Sven-Joonatan sent us some photos of what it looks like. It looks magical. Also, I just want to say that the way Sven talked about being Estonian and about their relationship to the forest, even calling them forest people.
From the going of snow until the coming of snow, Estonians go picking different resources from the forest. Berries, mushrooms, herbs, etc. And so going to pick ramson is also, in a way, therapy. I enjoy this experience every year, to just breathe in the spring air, feel the warmth of the wind, listen to the birds singing and chirping around, and just being away from everything. And you usually don't have to go too far because forest is always near.
I don't know what that was, but I love it so much. I have been to Tallinn before, which is the capital of Estonia. This is a fairy book town. It looks straight out of something magical, and it might not be on the top of your list of countries to visit, but I would highly, highly recommend it. It was a beautiful place. And if they're making ramp pasta like this, that's one reason alone to go.
Hi Beryl, my name is Sarah and I live in Canada, but I was born and raised in Casablanca, Morocco. The dish I want to share with everyone today is one of my favorite comfort foods from my culture, Tajine Jelbana Artichoke, which translates to green peas and artichoke tajine. Tajine is a slow-cooked stew made of a protein and specific combinations of vegetables, as well as spices and sometimes dried fruits and nuts.
My eyes are really hurting right now. I know you all said to put your onions in the fridge or wear goggles, but I didn't do any of that. Now I have the repercussions of my actions, and they really are burning. How do you all feel about using the stems of herbs? When it comes to parsley and cilantro, I think that they're so delicate that I like including them, but I know a lot of people will spend time removing them. But like personally, I'm pro stem.
The tajine I'm talking about today is traditionally made with green peas and artichoke hearts, beef or lamb, and spices. But I'm bringing you a vegan version of it so that everyone can try how flavorful and comforting Moroccan food is.
I'm having to think on the fly because it turned out I did not have ginger powder, but I have garlic ginger paste, and this recipe needs garlic and ginger, so I'm gonna put some of this in the blender, just not as much, but I think it's gonna do the job. I can smell the ginger.
Tajine is the most common dish in Morocco, and it's named after the clay pot used to cook this dish traditionally. Nowadays, most people use a regular pot to cook the dish, but the name of the dish hasn't changed. Tajine is not one specific dish, it's the Moroccan word for stew, so there are countless variations of tajine.
It's a lot of onion.
This dish reminds me of my family back home in Morocco. My grandmother used to make this tajine for me whenever I went to visit her after school because she knew it was my favorite, and I could smell it even before she opened the door.
There we go. That's the end of that. And with that, the tomato paste season comes to an end. Is that football joke relevant?
So that smell always takes me right back to Morocco whenever I cook this dish in my apartment here in cold Canada.
This many peas going in bring me joy because I love peas. I just like, I don't know, I just like really love peas. These artichoke hearts I was able to buy shredded, pre-cleaned. So it's just artichoke hearts going in. Look at this bag. Artichoke bottoms. You can just buy the hearts, which I had no idea was possible. It's so difficult to get to the hearts, and they just come frozen. Game changer, and something that I will definitely be purchasing again because I love artichokes, even though they're a lot of work to eat.
The peas are definitely the star of the show in this tajine because their sweetness goes so well with the creamy artichoke hearts, and the spice blend that I use enhances the flavor profile even more. In my opinion, peas are underrated, especially in the West, because most people have them just boiled with salt and pepper, which is guaranteed to make any vegetable taste boring, to be fair. But with the help of spices and herbs, peas are not only delicious but also a great source of nutrients. I think everyone should try this dish because it tastes incredible even though it's an easy and inexpensive one-pot recipe. I hope you enjoy it as much as we do in Morocco.
I made my tagine in a tagine, kind of. I plated my tagine in a tagine. These artichoke hearts are looking delicious, and I've swapped out my typical spoons for some metal. Oh, they're soft though. Wow. It's all the best parts of the artichoke with none of the work. This dish is a pea forward dish. The sauce that I cooked down is so laden with peas that you get that little bite, crunch, bubble bite of a pea in every single bite. And all of those spices, even though there was like a million of them, every single one of them has created so much depth of flavor. Like, can you see this? So many peas on this bite. I can't help but smile every time I take a bite. Finding the pre-cut artichoke hearts in a bag was a game changer for this. And Sarah said that this dish is usually a meat dish, but I love her vegetarian version. It is hearty. The artichoke hearts feel very fulfilling. Like, you don't feel like you miss the meat. I don't miss the meat, that's for sure. All of the herbs cook down, and I do think that you can taste them with all of the spices.
That's a lot of herbs.
The bite of the artichoke, the poppiness of the peas, and that depth of flavor from the sauce makes this feel like a dish that is super, super special. It's something that I feel like I've never tasted anything like it before. And while it wasn't the simplest dish to make because there were a lot of elements to make it, you can taste the work. And I think the work was worth the work. The work was worth the work. You know what I mean, right? It was worth it.
Hi everyone, my name is Fernanda and I live in Chile. The recipe I want to share with you today it calls Borgoña. Borgoña is an alcoholic drink prepared with red wine, strawberries and sugar. It is simple, sweet and refreshing. Actually, some people compare it with sangria. Usually we make this drink in September during our homeland holidays and during the summer months to take advantage of the strawberry season. But we can find Borgoña in some traditional bars the rest of the year. My grandmother used to make it when we had family parties. Now my dad usually prepares it on his birthday. If you're not a big fan of wine, like me, I would say you'll still like this drink because the strawberries add something special to it. I recommended to try it because it has two of our most popular ingredients, strawberries and wine. So I think you can taste part of Chile with this drink. Espero que lo disfrutes mucho. Salud!
We just have a cheeky little drink right now to break up the meals. It tastes like strawberries, like a strawberry wine. Okay, let me get comfortable now that I have my glass of wine. Ugh. No, I can't. Stool's too small. I'm gonna tell you the truth here. I really like putting ice cubes in red wine, and I don't care who's gonna yell at me. I think it's quite enjoyable. Like a cold red wine, especially in the summer, is really nice. And I'm not saying to buy like $100 bottle of red wine and put ice cubes in it, although if it needed to be cold, maybe I would. I'm just saying. It tastes like a strawberry sangria, and it's honestly absolutely fabulous. All right, cheers. Next dish, huh?
Hello everyone, my name is Dena. I live in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, but I'm originally from Palestine. The dish I want to share with you today is called Fatayer Sabanik, or Spinach pies in English. This dish is basically very flaky dough that's filled with spinach filling.
Last time I made dough, when I made mandazi, I was singing half the time and I messed it up by adding too much water. This time I'm gonna be stone cold silent and I'm not gonna make a peep and I'm just gonna watch the dough. So I hope you enjoy this part.
That has spinach, onions, and meat. What's special about the dish is the way of preparation. We use a lot of olive oil.
I said I wasn't gonna talk, but the dough feels pretty good. I think I'm gonna get there. Just a little more kneading.
We roll it out very thinly and fold it multiple times so it gets a flaky consistency and it's very crunchy and delicious. Once the meat is cooked, we add a lot of chopped and cleaned spinach and let it cook until it wilts down and all the water is evaporated. I love this dish so much because it's very comforting and it's usually made when it's winter, so spinach is in season and it gets the family together. It's a very labor intensive dish, so whenever it's made, a lot of family members are there to help. So a lot of conversations and fun is going around. Someone is baking, someone is preparing the filling, someone is rolling the dough.
This is so much spinach!
And for sure the grandma or like the old ladies of the family are the ones who are preparing the dough to make sure it's the right recipe and right consistency.
Since there are no measurements, I'm just gonna give it a little taste. Maybe a little more salt. And I think a little more sumac. It's got the sumac-y flavor, but I want a little more. Good. Good, good, good.
This dish is a test for like how good you can cook because it's very hard to make it perfect from the first time. You take a piece of the dough and you roll it out into a disc and you put it aside to rest for a bit.
Dena said that these are difficult and the true test of a cook. I feel like my confidence is not in the garbage, but I've had a lot of failure making dumplings, and this is a similar thing, you know, it's a dough with a stuffing. I'm just like, I'm a little stressed. You can do this, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this. I'm psyching myself up, you can do this.
Then you take it again and roll it out very, very, very thinly, as thin as you can get it. And it usually gets some holes in it, but that's fine. Take it and you put the filling in the middle and you fold it, but from the corners into the center to make a perfect like envelope square shape.
I mean, it's not cooked yet, but there are no holes. It's sticking together, and I followed the recipe of stretching it and then folding it and then stuffing it and then folding it. It's like I'm making a mini croissant. I mean, I've never made a croissant, but about the layers. Oh, I hope this works. I hope it works. Ooh, please work, please work.
I hope everyone gets to try this dish and enjoys it. Thank you so much.
I was really nervous to make these just because dough, and second of all, it's kind of a dumpling in its own right, but I feel like they look really good. I'm gonna go with like a little one. They taste so good. The inside, the spinach has that tangy, meaty, oniony flavor. It's definitely not a sweet spinach, but then paired with the dough, it is like, it tastes so professional. I don't mean to say that, but it tastes like something that I would definitely get in a restaurant. Wow. I definitely feel like with this dish, I have a bit of dumpling vindication. You know, Dena said that it's a test of a cook. I'm not sure if presented in front of Dena's family, what they would say. However, I feel like I passed. At least I got a B. I don't know, Dena, let me know. Would I make these again on my own? I feel like as a group, I understand what Dena was saying. Like, you get everybody together, everybody has a little role. Leia ended up helping me and it made it go a lot faster. Done. I'm gonna time us. Leia. Sharing them with Leia.
I made this one.
It has a hole.
It's busted.
She gave a thumbs up.
I'd give 2, but I'm holding something.
But a lot of cultures have their own versions of spinach pies. The sumac in this lends a very specific flavor to me that is very Middle Eastern, part of that like Levant area. And the spinach in that sense is a little bit more bitter, but not bitter in a bad way because it's combined with so many other things. And with the dough, it just brings it all together, and it is a delightful, delightful bite.
Hello Beryl, my name is Becky. I live in Traverse City in America, the cherry capital of the United States. The recipe I'd like to talk to you today is about maraschino cherries. Maraschino cherries is an ingredient that can be added to items such as cola, ginger ale, soda, or mixed beverages. My family and I believe that our cherries are better than store-bought cherries because the flavor can't be beat. Maraschino cherries are made from freshly picked or store-bought cherries when cherries are not in season. The cherries are pitted, brined in a saltwater bath, and added to a simple syrup, bringing them to a boil before storing. You can store the cherries and the syrup in the refrigerator for a couple of weeks. We make larger batches of cherries and can them with the simple syrup. We love the homemade drinks with maraschino cherries. It reminds us of summer. We savor them and we try to make our cherries last until the following July when cherries are in season again. Maraschino cherries seem harder to find for our family, so we decided to can them to enjoy them year-round. Making maraschino cherries stems from my childhood. My first paying job when I was younger was picking fruit. I take my family picking all kinds of fruits to carry on the understanding of where food comes from. The canning aspect of fruits reminds me of my grandmother. She canned many fruits and vegetables and stored them in her dirt-floored basement. I loved watching and learning this from my mother and grandmother. Cherries are a great fruit, both sweet and tart or completely tart, a refreshing part of summer. I recommend giving this recipe a try to spice up a drink, added to muffins, or for a fruit substitute. Cheers, and thanks.
This whole time I've been saying maraschino cherries. Am I wrong? Maybe there's two ways to say it. I can't believe that I made them myself. It was a lengthy process. 3 days. It was all very passive, but like you have to do things in steps in order to preserve the cherries, and it just takes a while. I made like a cherry soda. Oh, it's so hot in here because I have to have the AC off to film. This is really nice versus like all the hot foods that I have to eat. Come here, cherry, time to try you. A lot less sweet than like the bright red maraschino cherries. It tastes still like a cherry, but like kind of candied. The syrup in this is kind of what made my pretty pink drink. My favorite part of this whole process was the cherry pitting part. I bought that on Amazon. I'll leave a link to it if you wanna get one. I bet you could also use it for olives because literally the other day I was like, how the heck do you de-pit an olive yourself? I digress. Anyway, slamming it shut and all the seeds coming out, so satisfying. It was honestly, that was fun. I think what I liked most about learning how to make this was the idea of using fruit when it's in season and preserving it to use throughout the year. Because honestly, like you eat cherries for what, like a couple of weeks a year, and then kind of that's it. And it is nice to have that kind of reminder of summertime in your fridge that could hold you over until next year. Now, I didn't actually can them because I don't know how to do that, but I do need to learn because I have a pickling episode coming up, so gotta get on that. But they will last for a couple of weeks in your fridge, so it's probably long enough, right? Check the description for all of the recipes and everything else that I talked about. In the meantime, here is our strawberry episode and here is an orange episode. Keep it in the fruit family, and I will see you guys in my next video. Enjoy cherry season.